In Gotham City, families have gathered at a special winter town, set up and prepared for by billionaire Barry O'Neill, who has pledged to give away every penny to his name before he dies. While Commissioner Gordon delivers a warm address to the man, Wintertown is suddenly attacked by a villain called Mr. Blizzard. Barry O'Neill knows this villain as a man who has been sending him letters for months, but he hadn't taken those threats seriously. Fortunately, Batman is quick to arrive and dispatch with the foe. Back at Wayne Manor, Bruce Wayne is joined by Duke Thomas. The two share some gelt while Bruce thinks of Barry O'Neill. This generous man has been helping Gotham since before Wayne was ever born, but eventually he'll be gone. It's something Bruce rationally knows to be true, but doesn't like it. Yet sooner or later, our time runs out. As Barry O'Neill returns home, he is surprised to find he is not alone. For they are an honest signal. In the French Alps, a man named Henry Ducard, who once taught Bruce, is approached by his old student. Bruce has returned to this man, this time for Ducard's advice and expertise in solving a mystery, for the Dark Knight has finally found one he cannot solve. Last week, a kind employee at Arkham Asylum was murdered under similar circumstances that resembled the death of Barry O'Neill. When Batman went to investigate, he was suddenly attacked by a laughing, shadowy figure wielding a knife. This shocks Batman, who checked the entire room before he started his investigation, and was certain he was alone. But the Dark Knight is able to wrestle the knife free, and the figure flees to the rooftop without speaking. When Batman follows, the figure says he shouldn't be here, and has been stumbling onto a world bigger than the Dark Knight could possibly imagine. The figure reveals knowledge of a letter from Bruce's grandfather that he burned when he was only 13 years old. Nobody should know about it, but the stranger only says, "The Shadow knows." A baffled Bruce Wayne begins to investigate this strange encounter. The knife the stranger was wielding is over 50,000 years old and was clearly used to murder the asylum employee. It has no fingerprints, even though the Shadow wasn't wearing gloves in the apartment. Batman begins digging through facial recognition software and interviewing people that apparently knew someone called Lamont Cranston, a man related to the Arkham Asylum employee who lived and died a long time ago in New York City. Lamont became obsessed with punishing crime and started calling himself the Master. Most people who knew the man in life tell Batman they could easily believe Lamont doing something crazy like faking his own death. This leads Bruce to disguise himself as Matches Malone and go to a hotel Lamont supposedly kept a room at, but the moment he asks the bellhop to take him there, the employee attacks. The bellhop claims the Master expected this and that nobody must enter his room, but the young man is no match for the Dark Knight. Inside, Bruce finds dozens of masks and weapons, including evidence that the ancient knife Batman recovered was being held here earlier, along with a rare sword used by Ducard. That's what brought Bruce back to his old trainer. This Lamont person seems to be the Shadow, but that would make him almost 120 years old if that's true, yet the man hasn't appeared to age a day. The whole Cranston family seems dedicated to fighting crime in New York City and around the world, and did so over the last century in secret. But for some reason, it seems like Lamont killed the asylum employee, even though that should be one of his own relatives. Meanwhile, it seems like the Shadow has killed others before, like Barry O'Neill. Listening to all of this, Ducard only says, "If Batman seeks the Shadow, he is closer than one might think."